Alright, everybody, today I'm going to be doing this vintage story news. Or, for now, we're going to be focusing on interviewing and finding out more about this happenings on the vintage story Age of War server. And maybe we'll find out some of the lore by taking an interview with a guy who is a captain of the guild that I'm currently in. So I hope you guys enjoy this interview and stay tuned for what may happen next on Vintage Story News. Alright, well, I just got back on for my interview station. And I'm currently starving. Welcome to the Age of Warfare server. I will be your host, KO, with the interviews. And I'm slowly dying, I forget. Hold up. Let me not die for a second. Alright, so...
Give you that
All right.
syrup buzz.
So give me the rundown of how you created this faction.
Right, so this faction was originally started in the wake of Forever Winter coming to a sudden and abrupt end. This server was originally a winter wonderland and paradise. No, I'm absolutely kidding. It was a frozen hellhole where only the most masochistic and unemployed bothered to play on. And so what started out as just a fun little, experiment into multiplayer quickly grew into a major endeavor of survival. It's the original members were myself, one other person who left, so I won't mention their name anymore, Vonnie, K400, and Cyrix. Panzer was also on that server, but he wasn't part of the group at the time. And there was also Slur, Vonnie's friend, but he wasn't really on that much.
So they just kind of drifted apart.
Yeah. He had IRL stuff, and Vonnie's a student. But what was going down on the server was, I started out with this great idea, if I may be so hubristic. And the idea was we would make a base around hot springs, right? And the hot springs would allow us to be more fuel efficient and have
not freeze to
these
death.
really, not freeze to death. But most importantly, we would actually be able to grow food. And this was a vision given to me by the daughter of the Earth Mother, the great deity of the server. She sent her daughter, the sauna spirit, to bless me with this vision of a paradise built around hot springs. And she actually led us to this, what we called the Promised Land, through one of her messengers, a player on the server named Kekilape, who also happens to be the leader of Skaven, which is why we have such a decent relationship. So what ended up happening was, when we found
that's strong.
the Promised Land...
The interviewer is not supposed to be drunk in one of these.
Here. So, as I was saying, what was going on was, we had to, we found a hot spring, we built up around it, and it turned out to be this massive network of hot springs, enough for a whole city. So the plan was, we would establish the first successful greenhouses, we would then survive and prove to everybody that we could survive without cannibalism, which we did. And then we would grow enough of a surplus to end cannibalism forever. Because one of the problems with Forever Winter, or opportunities, depending on who you ask, was crops didn't grow, so you had to get creative to survive. And that either meant utilizing as much forage and hunting as you could, or resulting to the depravity of cannibalism. Or at least auto-cannibalism. Eating your own people or your own body was a very common occurrence. Panzer, unfortunately, was one of them. And so...
got cannibalized?
He cannibalized himself.
So basically, they killed themselves and respawned and ate themselves.
Yeah.
They dropped the corpse.
However, there was a faction led by Tame a Dragon and it also included the founding members of Deep Green Guild. They were all cannibals. Rangiria and Sir MacArthur originally wanted to join with us and cleanse themselves of the sin of cannibalism by baptism in the holy hot springs. But unfortunately, Tame a Dragon caught wind of this, tortured them and broke them until he compelled them to be his slaves once again. And he was planning on getting revenge on this usurpation of his authority by raiding and eating everybody on the server who wasn't already a cannibal.
Oh, jeez.
In fact, one of his...
crazy.
Yeah, it gets worse. His first victim was Blobfish. His first victim was Blobfish.
Oh.
And he spawn camped him for a fortnight. He literally did not let the man even walk out his door. As soon as the guy spawned in his own bedroom, he killed him, he hacked up his body, he put it in his bag, and he just waited for the guy to respawn and do it all over again.
He was
over and over.
More.
Yeah, they feasted on fish. So it soon became apparent to everybody on the server that shit was about to go down, and so I rallied the server, everybody from Shambhala Warrior to Melancholy Beast, Cyrix, and even Panzer, and several others. Kiki Lape's people were also on our side. They were only auto cannibals. They weren't cannibal raiders. They were gonna rally to us, and we were all gonna form a city around the hot springs and the hot spring network. We were gonna become one large civilization. It was gonna be the cannibals versus this versus the Order of the Eternal Spring. That was our faction. And right before the final decisive battle would happen, Blob killed the server. And we were happy to play our role as the sauna worshippers. In fact, we were planning on continuing that. However, when Blob made the new server and changed everything up, he first brought along a lot of his friends and other people from Cracked Iron factions. As you know, on this server, your faction has to be quite unique and independent from any other idea. Unfortunately, our first idea for a religious faction, a theocracy, if you will,
did not plan out well.
No, it was Artaka beat us to it, for better and for worse. So we couldn't exactly be the sauna worshippers again because there was already a theocracy. We also tried to be like druids, but Deep Green Guild kind of beat us to that. And then we tried to be a republic, but Commodus beat us to that. And then eventually we settled on pirates. But originally the idea of socialist pirates was snapped up by Shambhala, Kekwana Socialist Republic, who are a bunch of poser wannabe revolutionaries who are too proud to call themselves real pirates. Yeah, so the idea came that we were fed up with everybody getting first pick for their idea of a civilization, that we just decided we would become pirates and that we would raid people. And we were expecting the laissez-faire attitude towards PvP that we experienced on Forever Winter. Instead, it became a very rules-based and regimented affair.
I think they were tired of people just dying and quitting the server.
You know, that was part of it.
Called getting filtered, actually.
Blobfish could have just as easily made some adjustments to Forever Winter to at least add a brief but meaningful window of time for people to actually not starve to death and somewhat prepare for winter, but he didn't.
Like a small blissful summer?
A very small but high intensity summer to keep things good for a little while and then bring back the cold with blistering efficiency.
Sorry,
unfortunately, unfortunately that didn't come to pass, and here we are now in Age of Warfare. So yeah, so now we're pirates. And the lore of my character is I am the original founder of the Eternal Spring, but we failed. I, the captain of the Corsairs, am the original founder of the Order of Eternal Spring. However, we died, and we failed to survive and bring about the paradise that we intended. Deep Green Guild canonically is the descendants of the cannibals who decided they would never again subject themselves to such barbarism. And Skaven
they
is
may do that again. You never know.
You never know, but I think it's, if they're anything like their predecessors, I truly believe that they mean it this time. They don't want to go through that ever again. Nobody wants to be stuck in a cave eating their own corpse for months and months on end. It's not a good life, man. I'm telling you. Take my word for it.
It messes with your head.
Cannibal's Lair was built deep in a mountain where their sanity, where it was warm enough that you didn't need wood constantly, but your sanity was constantly spiraling out of control. So if the cannibals didn't kill you, your own insanity did. It wasn't a good time. But to say the least, I'm basically back from the dead. I am cursed to wander the earth and collect the vagabonds and start a new civilization in the name of Her Majesty the Sea. We are now the Naval Mujahideen, the Black Corsairs of Sanau, and we shall forever be free. The term for people of Sanau is Sanauers.
I thought he was gonna say
Sanauers.
What the fuck are you doing in my house? I thought he was gonna say that for like
Hold on, hold still. Say it right there. Actually. Did you not read the sign outside, boy? It says my name on the front door.
Captain, I can't aim my gun anywhere else. I think this is it for me.
Boy, let me get this slug ready for you. Hold on. Okay.
4 ruffians
You
break
need it.
into my house.
And also,
I drank something. Oh God, I'm drunk now. Oh God. Yeah.
Well,
but yeah, that's the origin of the Black Corsairs of Sanau. We were a people who were denied our world, who were denied our identity, and we forged a new identity as brothers in arms and vagabonds.
Well, that's going to conclude this interview in Vintage Story for the Black Corsairs of Sanau. Thank you, Saint Spook, for being in this and giving me the full rundown of what happened in this server. This server is technically owned by Blobfish. I will hopefully put the creator on this because, you know, I joined off of him. And he made a great video on it. So this is Age of War. And it sounds a lot like that game from like 2000 what? Something? Early 2000s and stuff like that. I remember playing that on the Flash. So hopefully everything goes right. And we get into combat pretty soon as he has declared war on every other power and nation. I think he's on an empire run. He's trying to conquer all. Stay tuned for next time as I conduct another interview. So please, like, subscribe, and don't forget to check out Blobfish, since he is the main proprietor of all this happenings. And yeah, I will have my news station prepared eventually for our news. And hopefully I actually get the chance to talk with Blobfish about this whole ordeal. So thank you for watching. Have a nice one.